Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, December 22nd, 2023. It's 8:07 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is 4 p.m. in Arizona. And welcome to Surviving AI with JTB. What if you're the hero? Spoiler alert, you are. You're the hero. You're the hero of this whole thing. And when I say this whole thing, I mean by this attempt for humanity to survive. And speaking of for humanity, we're going to jump right into the action this morning. Let's see, we'll show you the quick thumbnail there. It's the Wild West. We live in anarcho fascism, the Wild West of anarcho fascism. That means there are no laws, there are no rules, there is no government beyond what is being provided to you by the perpetrators themselves, the corporations, the corporate AI, the oligarchs, the system of economics and global government that is there to fleece you. Wow, we've got a great audience starting this morning and already got 12 people in my box. Well, I'm excited about that. Let's get started with our friend John Sherman with the For Humanity podcast. It just dropped this morning, and it is one of the most important podcasts in the world. And guess what? 33 people or 33 views have happened so far. So one of the most important podcasts in the world, and only 33 views so far. Let's be 34, shall we? Let's see what we can do for humanity and for saving humanity. Thanks again to our friend John Sherman. We'll have him on the show again soon. Here we go with John Sherman's For Humanity podcast. You got the link in the show notes. We got John's permission to share this, of course. Let's fucking go.
Not a risk like you're talking about there, but how sure are we that GPT-9 won't be?
How sure are we that ChatGPT-9 won't murder your whole family and mine, he asks.
The bad case, and I think this is important to say, is lights out for all of us.
The real doomers are the ones that could bring the fucking doom. Yeah?
My chance that something goes, really quite catastrophically wrong on the scale of human civilization, might be somewhere between 10 and 25%.
Who the fuck do you think you are? Who the fuck do you think gave you permission to endanger the lives of 8 billion of your neighbors? Seriously, who in their right mind would take a job at a company where your work creates a 10 to 25% chance of killing their family and all of their neighbors? Oh, and all the rest of the people in the whole world too.
Yeah, I think it's impossible to overstate the importance of AI safety and alignment work. I would like to see much more happening.
Oh, wow. Sam should try to find somebody who knows somebody who's in charge at OpenAI who can fix this. Come on.
Some young person goes to a school and starts shooting people. You blame video games, right? Back in the old days, people would blame comic books. They would blame jazz. They would blame TV. They would blame movies.
Yeah, it's just like video games and school shootings. It's just like comic books or jazz. Get the fuck out of here.
But who determines the goal? We do.
You know better than that. You know what the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, says about goals and sub-goals. You know that a human can set goals, and AI systems must then set sub-goals to achieve those first goals. And you know those sub-goals, when unaligned with human values and obscured from view, hidden in a black box system as they are, could kill us all. Welcome to For Humanity, an AI Safety Podcast, Episode 8, AI's Top 3 Doomers. I'm John Sherman, your host. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the AI Safety Podcast for the general public. No tech background required. This podcast, as you know, is solely about the threat of human extinction from artificial intelligence. Please hit like and subscribe. Tell a friend about the show. And if you're on X, Follow us at For Humanity Pod and leave a comment, if you will. I really, really appreciate those comments. And reach out to me by email if you'd like to at forhumanitypodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Many of you have been reaching out to me, and I want to say thank you for doing that. We are building a community of people here, a community of people who are unafraid to be ambassadors of AI extinction risk. In full candor, this show is a lot of work, and every time one of you reaches out to me with some words of encouragement, it means a great deal. It really does. So thank you. I'm going to end today's show on something really positive, new, and exciting coming up for 2024. But first, the moment we are in. Every day, more and more people are waking up to the grim truth. A bunch of 30-somethings in Silicon Valley are in a race to build technology that can cure all of our problems or kill us all before it has a chance to do that. Those both sound crazy, but they are both literally true. The future, utopia or doom, will be decided by us this decade. Everything I've just said is almost consensus view among most of the AI thought leaders of all different stripes. I'm not religious at all, but I was thrilled this week to see Pope Francis come out with a forceful call for AI safety. Not sure if you saw it. Check out this Washington Post headline. Warning of risk to survival. Pope calls for global treaty on AI. Wow. You gotta love it. In the Pope's statement on AI, he said, I think very importantly and on target for our show topic today, the Pope wrote, artificial intelligence is not the responsibility of a few, but of the entire human family. Again, I don't believe in religion, but amen, Pope Francis, he is right. A handful of tech people responsible only to their shareholders cannot decide our survival. There are nearly 1.5 billion Catholics on earth, Catholics of the world. Hear Pope Francis. He's saying human survival is at risk from AI. Let's be clear. This is not metaphorical. He doesn't mean something like survival, but nicer. The leading academic researchers and the leaders of all the big tech AI companies are openly talking about their work killing everyone on Earth, no survivors. That is literally what they are talking about. And the consensus of all the leading academic researchers on this subject is it's very likely, if it happens to happen, that it will happen within the next 2 to 10 years. If every Catholic believed the Pope's dire warning, that would be truly wonderful. If every major world religious leader came out with a similar statement of grave concern, that would be even better. What a potentially powerful, immediate impact that could have on global, worldwide opinion. AI could still cure cancer, end poverty, solve climate change, even if we only developed narrow artificial intelligence. But we're not doing it that way. We're in a race to build artificial general intelligence, an AI that's better than humans in a wide variety of skills and areas of expertise. We are racing towards our own doom. That's what most of the leading AI safety researchers are saying. That's what the godfathers and creators of AI are shouting. They're saying, slow down. They're saying, stop. But the race continues. A handful of people are taking risks for the futures of 8 billion people without any consent whatsoever. Civil society is based on consent, right? You can't touch someone without their consent. Every time you sign something, all day long, you're signing away your consent. We do it for the most trivial things and the most important things. If I want to cut down a tree in my yard that affects my neighbor's yard, I need to get my neighbor's consent. The big AI companies have no fucking right at all to do what they're doing without anyone's consent. We, the public, have not given them our consent for this at all. So on today's show, the top 3 doomers in AI. We're going to name names, point fingers, and lay down the blame. These 3 men are unconsensually risking doom for you, your family, me, my family, and every other living thing on this planet. The term doomer is misused. AI risk deniers are the real doomers. Let's be very clear. Doomerism equals AI risk denialism. The doomers are not the AI safety researchers like Eliezer Yudkowsky and Max Tegmark, or the converts like Jeffrey Hinton and Yoshua Bengio. Those are heroes trying to save us. The real doomers are the ones that could bring the fucking doom. Yeah? Yeah, that makes a whole lot more sense to me. So on today's show, the top 3 doomers in AI. These are the fucking assholes who are risking our doom. They're leading the charge to make it happen as fast as possible. So, coming in at number 3, the number 3 doomer in AI, it's Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei. Dario's story is heartbreaking for those gravely concerned about AI risk. It's a tale of a life rooted in good intentions, tragically broken, corrupted by market forces, ego, and greed. Dario Amodei worked at OpenAI from 2015 to 2020, leading the teams that built ChatGPT-2 and ChatGPT-3. He is, by all accounts, an incredible computer scientist, and honestly, he seems like a nice, very likable guy in the interviews you're about to see. He even runs his company with his sister. Aww. In 2020, though, Dario left OpenAI with some others to start their own company, Anthropic, that would be far more focused on safety than OpenAI. Today, Anthropic has only 160 employees, and it is widely considered the 3rd most important AI company on the planet, just behind Microsoft's OpenAI and Google's DeepMind. AI safety was prized at Anthropic originally. The company was all about safety in a meaningful and genuine way. But things changed. Today, Anthropic has 160 humans whose daily work threatens the total slaughter of their 8 billion neighbors. There was a long New York Times article about Dario and Anthropic in July. In it, company leaders say to work on safety at the frontier level, you need to build systems that are at the dangerous frontier level. I believe there is some truth in that. So they are doing it. They got a $5 billion investment to build an AI model 10 times more capable than today's most capable models. That is quite literally the dangerous frontier work, the 1% that could kill us all. 10 times smarter than today's AI could well be AGI, pushing us past the singularity. Well, maybe it won't. Here's Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei on the Logan Bartlett podcast, a great show, on how Anthropic changed after OpenAI released ChatGPT to the general public.
I didn't want our kind of first act on the public stage, after we'd said it, after we put so much effort into being responsible to accelerate things so greatly. I generally feel like we made the right call there. I think it's actually pretty debatable. There's many pros, many cons, but I think overall we made the right call. And then, certainly as soon as the other models were out and kind of the gun had been fired, then we started putting these things out. We're like, okay, all right, now there's definitely a market in this. People know about it. And so, we should get out ahead. And, indeed, we've managed to, put ourselves among the top 2 or 3 players in this space.
Was that gun being fired and ChatGPT sort of taking off? Was that similar to the maybe fear that you had of like, hey, this might start a race?
Yeah, similar, and in fact more so. So I think we saw it with Google's reaction to it. That there was definitely just judging from the public statements, a sense of fear and existential threat, and I think they responded in a very economically rational way. I don't blame them for it at all. But you put the two things together, and it really created an environment where things were racing forward very quickly. And look, I love technology as much as the next person. There was something like super exciting about the whole make them dance. Oh, we're responding with something. I can get just as excited about this as everyone. But given the rate at which the technology is progressing, there was a worrying aspect about this as well. And so in this case, I'm at least on balance glad that we weren't the ones who fired that starting gun.
Yeah.
So he left OpenAI to start a new, safer lab. But then once OpenAI released ChatGPT, he gave up on being safer. He openly admits this, and he joined the arms race. Right there at the end of that soundbite we just played, he says he gets some consolation for not being the one to fire the gun to start the AGI arms race. That is pathetic. That's called caving in. When the AI safety company said, fuck it, we need to join the arms race or be left behind, so we're in, humanity's chances took a big hit. What happened at Anthropic is a sickening window into the market forces at play here. Listen to me. The rush to make money and be first is far more important to the human race than ensuring survival. Full stop. That is simply the fact of how we are currently living. That is our status quo. That is what the actions of our society currently undeniably show. Our plan is to be so rich and so dead. So why is Dario Amodei the number 3 ranked AI doomer in the world? He's making the doom happen. We played the soundbite I'm going to play for you now a few shows ago. Listen to more of it here now. Here's Dario with Logan Bartlett giving the percentage chance the P-Doom that the work he's doing ends all life on Earth.
Do you think about percentage chance doom or?
Yeah, I think it's popular to give these percentage numbers, and the truth is that I'm not sure it's easy to put a number to it, and if you forced me to, it would fluctuate all the time. I think I've often said that my chance that something goes really quite catastrophically wrong on the scale of human civilization, might be somewhere between 10 and 25% when you put together the risk of something going wrong with the model itself, with something going wrong with human people or organizations or nation states misusing the model or it kind of inducing conflict among them, or just some way in which kind of society can't handle it. That said, what that means is that there's a 75 to 90% chance that this technology is developed and everything goes fine.
If you don't believe that AI can kill us all very soon, ask yourself, what is it that you know that the CEO of the 3rd most important AI company on Earth doesn't know? If someone in your life doesn't believe that AI can kill them, play that soundbite for them. Here's Logan Bartlett asking a great question, and Dario not answering it at all. It's like he doesn't even see the question.
There was a Vox article that said something to the effect of an employee predicted there was a 20% chance that a rogue AI would destroy humanity within the next decade, to the reporter, I guess, that was around. Does all this stuff weigh heavily on the organization on a daily basis, or is it mostly consistent with a normal startup for the average employee?
Yeah, so I don't know. I'll give my own experience, and it's kind of the same thing that I recommend to others. I really freaked out about this stuff in 2018 or 2019 or so when I first believed that, turned out to be, at least in some ways correct, that the models would scale very rapidly, and, they would have this importance to the world.
I'm sure Dario Amodei is a lot like the few thousand people working on the most dangerous frontier AI capabilities work. Incredibly smart, probably even well-intentioned, but completely blind to the notion of consent. There can be no such thing as informed consent in this. Not even the big AI companies know what AGI will do, when, or how, and yet they race on, never even attempting to get anyone's consent. Dario mentions he knows the importance of his work to the world. So to be blunt, Mr. Amodei, who the fuck do you think you are? Who the fuck do you think gave you permission to endanger the lives of 8 billion of your neighbors? Seriously, who in their right mind would take a job at a company where your work creates a 10 to 25% chance of killing their family and all of their neighbors? Oh, and all the rest of the people in the whole world too. What the fuck are we talking about here? Who the fuck do you think you are, sir? Okay, I'm going to breathe for a moment. On to the number 2 doomer in AI. Oh man, this guy is just the absolute worst. The number 2 doomer in AI is suicide cult leader and director of AI research at Meta, Yann LeCun. Yann LeCun is simply stunningly awful. Here is Yann at the World Science Festival in late November.
You can have a very intelligent system that has no desire to dominate at all. And so the way we will design those systems is to be smart. In other words, you give them a goal, they can solve that goal for you. But who determines the goal? We do.
You know better than that. You know what the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, says about goals and sub-goals. You know that a human can set goals, and AI systems must then set sub-goals to achieve those first goals. And you know those sub-goals, when unaligned with human values and obscured from view, hidden in a black box system as they are, could kill us all. But Yann LeCun, this NYU professor and Meta department leader, somehow has enough spare time on his hands to sit on X, formerly Twitter, and spew AI extinction risk denial bile through a fire hose. He not only denies any AI extinction risk whatsoever, he bullies and makes fun of anyone who does, calling them doomers, calling AI X risk sci-fi movie stuff, James Bond movie stuff, and more. If I had Yann LeCun in a public debate, I would shut him down with one question. Yann, let's say you build AGI, and let's say your interpretability sensor, which doesn't even currently exist, tells you that this AGI, which is smarter than any human, is plotting to kill you. What do you do next? There is no answer. The only answer is you die. So let's not get there, eh? But Yann isn't here for the hard questions. His go-to move is openly disingenuous. I have to believe he's too smart to know this isn't bullshit. Yann LeCun always reaches for historical precedent. Oh, AI is just like the typewriter. It's just another printing press moment. But as you know, there is nothing in human history, absolutely nothing, remotely, like the invention of AI and the coming of AGI. And any attempt to find a historical comparison is genuinely dangerous. Just listen to the total bullshit that comes from this man's mouth.
It's very easy to attribute cultural phenomena and social phenomena to the new thing that just happened, right? So if you know some young person goes to a school and starts shooting people, you blame video games, right? Back in the old days, people would blame comic books, they would blame jazz, they would blame TV, they would blame movies, novels. The story goes back, centuries. Whenever there is a new cultural phenomenon, whenever there is an effect on society, you blame the latest technology that appears, particularly communication technology. So it's natural to blame, for example, social networks, not just Facebook, just any social networks for political polarization. Okay, that seems natural. People shout at each other on social network. That necessarily polarizes people. A very natural thing to do. That turns out to be completely false.
Yeah, it's just like video games and school shootings. It's just like comic books or jazz. Get the fuck out of here. At the World Science Fair, the moderator asks Jan a great question, and his answer is just numbing, completely numbing. I do not understand this.
For you to say, hey, let's really slow this down, is there anything that would happen from these AI developments that would cause you to say, I want to slow this down?
So you want me to imagine a scenario that I don't believe can happen?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of funny because we're on a panel with a 60-something advocating for progress against a 30-something advocating for conservatism. Isn't that paradoxical? Anyway, I mean, we can imagine all kinds of catastrophe scenarios. Every sort of James Bond movie with a supervillain has some sort of catastrophe scenario where someone turns crazy and wants to, eliminate humanity to recreate it or something, or take over the world. All of science fiction is full of that. That's what makes it funny and interesting.
I don't know if you noticed in those clips the facial expression of the guy with the beard 2 seats down from Jan LeCun. This guy is amazing. You're about to meet a new AI safety hero, new character alert. Please say hello to AI ethicist Tristan Harris. Find his stuff on the internet. He really is incredible. Follow him. Listen to Tristan Harris do to Jan LeCun what LeCun always tries to do but fails. Tristan finds a historical reference that actually makes sense.
If you keep the scaling laws going, and you start to get AI that starts to automate scientific processes where it's generating its own hypotheses and it has its own lab and starts to test those hypotheses, and you start getting that kind of AI, you start getting AI that's making its own scientific discoveries. And that, when you have it going this fast, it feels like, her metaphor was, it's like the 24th century crashing down on the 21st century. And a metaphor for you is, imagine if the 20th century tech was crashing down on 16th century governance. So, it's the 16th century, you've got the king, you've got their advisors, but suddenly, television, radio, the telegraph, video games, Nintendo, and
thermonuclear
and thermonuclear weapons all show up. So they just land in your society.
Yeah.
But you're like, call the knights, and you get and the knights show up, and you're like, what are you going to do?
What are we going to do when technology hundreds of years advanced beyond our current moment is suddenly thrown in our hands? Nobody has any fucking clue. Just imagine the medieval kings and knights waking up one day with nukes and cell phones. The odds that I'd be sitting here today talking to you like this after that seem very slim. Which brings us to the number one doomer in AI. This was not a hard choice. It's the guy who did everything the original founders of AI swore they would never do. He chose to release his general AI models open source. He chose to release them on the open internet. He chose to release them with the ability to write their own code. This man's fingerprints are on the handle of the Pandora's box that is now open and threatening to murder everyone you've ever met, and also everyone you've never met too. He is the human starting gun in our profit-fueled global race to mass suicide. The number one doomer in AI is OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. Number one doomer Sam Altman is the most dangerous human to ever live. I could and will tell you about why, but he does a great job all by himself, right here in this famous quote from January of this year, right after he spent a minute detailing the wonders of the best case scenario for AI. Sam dropped this.
Bad case, and I think this is like important to say, is like lights out for all of us.
I could end my case for Sam being the number one doomer right there. Who the fuck works on something they legitimately think could kill everyone on Earth? In a highly controlled governmental military framework, weapons of mass destruction are designed and built, sure. This is not that. The sale of a fucking egg is far more regulated than AI right now. And Sam Altman of Missouri believes he has the right, the moral right, to do the work he's doing. How is that fucking possible? Sam, you are the bringer of the doom. Sam, you are the fucking doomer. Not Eliezer, not Max, not Connor, not Paul, not Roman. You, Sam Altman, are the number one doomer in AI. On that same January day, Sam went on to talk about his safety concern being mostly with misuse, and then he takes a full pot shot at the AI safety community. Just listen.
I'm more worried about like an accidental misuse case in the short term where, someone gets a super powerful, like it's not like the AI wakes up and decides to be evil. And I think all of the sort of traditional AI safety thinkers reveal a lot about themselves than they mean to when they talk about what they think the AGI is going to be like. But I can see the accidental misuse case clearly.
I'm sorry? Right there, the number one doomer in AI had the gall, the audacity to take a shot at what he calls the sort of traditional AI safety thinkers. His burn is somehow that they reveal something clearly off about themselves when they talk about what AGI is going to be like. Does he mean that Eliezer Yudkowsky and Max Tegmark think AGI is going to be bad and mean because they're really bad and mean deep down inside? What the actual fuck is he even talking about? AGI will be simply like every other intelligence anywhere that's not human. It won't share human goals and values. One more clip from that event. Here, Sam bemoans the need for more safety and alignment work. From the guy who is the CEO of the leading AI company on Earth, a company that puts its money 99 cents on the dollar on capabilities and 1 cent on safety work.
I think it's like impossible to overstate the importance of AI safety and alignment work. I would like to see much, much more happening.
Oh, wow. Sam should try to find somebody who knows somebody who's in charge at OpenAI who can fix this. Come on. Honestly, it's so pathetic.
Wow. Fun, it's been so much. Thank you.
Sam Altman, the world's most dangerous man and number one doomer, is bankrolled by Microsoft. At Dev Day for OpenAI, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella casually dropped in on his boy wonder, Sam the Doomer. This is a sickening 20 seconds of video. In it, you'll see Satya Nadella literally say, lastly, safety is super important because, you always leave the most important things for last. And then you'll see Sam Altman say the doomiest words thus far uttered in human history.
And then the last thing is, of course, we're very grounded in the fact that safety matters, and safety is not something that you'd care about later, but it's something we do shift left on, and we're very, very focused on that with you all.
Great. Well, I think we have the best partnership in tech. I'm excited for us to build AGI together.
No, I'm really excited. Have a fantastic.
Thank you very much for coming.
It really is too much to take. He knows his work, his choices may kill us all, And yet he continues. Sam Altman was asked a great question about just this at a recent Bloomberg event.
We signed a 22-word statement warning about the dangers of AI. It reads, mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other societal scale risks such as pandemics and nuclear war. Connect the dots for us here. How do we get from a cool chatbot to the end of humanity?
Well, we're planning not to.
That's the hope.
Like, you know, that's.
But there's also the fear.
I mean, I think there's many ways it could go wrong, but we work with powerful technology that can be used in dangerous ways very frequently in the world. And I think we've developed over the decades good safety system practices in many categories. It's not perfect, and this won't be perfect either. Things will go wrong. But I think we'll be able to mitigate some of the worst scenarios you can imagine. Bioterror is like a common example. Cybersecurity is another. There are like many more we could talk about. But as this technology, like the main thing that I feel is important about this technology is that we are on an exponential curve and a relatively steep one. And human intuition for exponential curves is like really bad in general. It clearly was not that important in our evolutionary history. And so I think we have to, given that we all have that weakness, I think we have to like really push ourselves to say, okay, GPT-4, not a risk like you're talking about there, but how sure are we that GPT-9 won't be?
How sure are we that ChatGPT-9 won't murder your whole family and mine, he asks. That is why Sam Altman is the #1 doomer in AI. He's not sure that his own product, a few versions from now, won't slaughter my family, your family, every family, and all their pets too. He says maybe it's GPT-9 that's a lethal threat. AI safety researchers say it could be GPT-5 or 6. Are we really just debating when, not what? Is the only question left what version kills us? Have we really just conceded the doomers can make their deadly weapon systems at will, no regulation, no oversight? No, we have not conceded that. We have fucking not. Okay. So, it is almost the end of the year. I've been making these shows for 8 weeks straight, and it has honestly been as fulfilling as it has been hard work. I am so excited what we can do with this podcast together in 2024 as we build this movement and this community. It starts with each one of us convincing others one at a time that this is the only issue that really matters anymore. So for 2024, I have big plans for humanity. I have so many show ideas, and this story is going to unfold in real time, so we'll be reacting in real time as well. Let us build a community of people here who are unafraid to plainly, convincingly evangelize for AI existential risk awareness. Let's use each other as resources, helping each other get better at convincing others by sharing our experiences. It's not easy to convince people, and it's not fun, and we could all be way better at it. Okay, finally, I'm going to take a few days to put together the next show, just to spend a little extra time to be with my family over the holidays, so the next show will come out right after the new year. So I want to end with a holiday message. 2023 was a year of shock and disbelief. In 2024, let's get our optimism back. Let's get our joy back. If the worst is to come, I want to spend every second enjoying life as much as humanly possible. I will not let these doomers rob me of my time or of my joy. Let's make 2024 a year of celebration and loving life. Let's celebrate what we love about being humans. Let's celebrate what we love about living on Earth. Let's spend time with our friends and family more than ever before. Take that vacation, go out to that dinner. Let's live like every second is precious. And while we celebrate life and humanity, let's kick and scream and fight like crazy to survive. So each show next year will end with a celebration of something that is wonderful about life. I'm going to share from my life, and I hope you'll share from yours. So that gives me something big to smile about and something I'm really looking forward to sharing with you in 2024. Please have a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. Whatever, wherever you celebrate, hold on to your loved ones close. For humanity, I'm John Sherman. I'll see you back here next year.
Well, as usual, thank you so much, John Sherman, for your wonderful work there on the For Humanity podcast. You hear John's plea to you to stand up and speak out and let people know what's going on. You know better than anyone what's going on because you have already been exploited by AI to a greater extent than any other humans on the planet Earth. App slaves have been exploited in Grand Theft Human gamblified, rigged games from Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, and all the other dog shit corporate AI, anarcho fascist companies, anarcho fascist corporate entities. Yeah, I posted the link up there to the For Humanity podcast. Go get yourself subscribed to that. It's a new podcast. We were one of the first folks. I was one of the first folks to probably even watch it, I think. But that was episode number 8. They've all been great. Go watch them. Go share them with people. It's a non-technical podcast that truly speaks to humanity and our fight for survival, not to a bunch of techno babble or a bunch of bullshit about how we're going to legislate this or legislate that or do this or do that. The problem's right now. The problem's not 6 months from now or next year or after the election in 2024 or whatever. The problem's right now. The problem is right now. Yep. Thank you, David M. Glad to see you here. That was very good. And we had John, the pinned uh, show on my page, on the homepage on YouTube, is John's appearance on this show. We had John on here for an interview after podcast number 5, I think. So John has been on the show, and we had a great talk with him. We'll have him on again, I hope, soon. So he's a great resource. He's a great broadcaster and puts together a real smooth and compelling experience for everyone. And we want John. I mean, I wanted John to understand too that in the global gig economy fraud, in the app slavery game, app colonization, labor laundering, all of the corporate AI fraud that's been perpetrated against us, we're the first and best victims in the entire world. And tens of millions of human beings have been enslaved by artificial intelligence already without their consent, without informed consent, which is impossible to give because this is black box AI. This is created to exploit humans. You can't consent to something that's impossible to understand. Very fundamental issues. Very serious core fundamental issues at stake here. And so then we've got the reality of our day-to-day world as well. What does Stephen Arrow have to say here? There's no money left to celebrate the gosh darn thing. The planet. Oh, what planet is he living on? He's just running a little side gig, I suppose. He's made all his money already, living residual something. Well, he's employed. John is a video editor and I think is quite gainfully employed. Has been very successful in the economic world, unlike those of us in the global gig economy. But I don't hold that against him. He's on the right side of humanity. But yeah, he's more financially comfortable than us. There's no doubt about that. But I don't hold that against him. You know, I have a feeling that John would willingly give up all his material possessions to benefit humanity and to save his children and whatever. Not the material possessions, but I believe his heart is in this for the right reasons, and I believe that John understands that artificial intelligence is a nefarious violation of human rights, and understands that in our space as well. But he's new to the global gig economy, so nobody understands the horrors of app slavery effectively as of yet, outside of the global gig economy. Very few people do, unless they've been reading my writing, because the general media, even the corporate media side of the global gig economy fraud, like the rideshare guy, Harry Campbell and Sergio and Chris, are just spinning a bunch of bullshit. So nobody outside those of us on the right side of the aisle here on YouTube really understands the true fraud and perspective of app slavery. Now, speaking of that, we got another great resource in this community who is named Jeff, and that's Uber Jeep Arizona Jeff. And he put out a short video yesterday that I think is worth sharing. And I shared it on my, let's look at my community page here. Make that big and me small. There we go. And so here's our friend Glitch Dash putting out a warning. Attention, if you are a GigTube content creator like Mushi Moo or like Kim or like Zach or like the rideshare guy or like any of the, or like Pedro or any of these Dash and C Moto, what are the other silly ones? Sin City Deliveries, a silly fraud channel. Trevor's Deliveries, silly fraud channel. If you are a GigTube content creator, wrote Glitch Dash, and you boast amazing numbers during this terrible economy, you must live stream your work. If you don't, we will feature your work on this channel to be dissected under a microscope. Anything that is presented without evidence will be dismissed without evidence. Very good point. Very good point. So the community is fighting back against the fraud on GigTube because it's screwing new drivers, screwing new people to the community. It's setting people up for great financial loss and fraud, which is the core of the gig economy corporate cabal, the core of Grand Theft Human, a game strictly invented to exploit humanity and to destroy the labor force, to destroy the concept of employment within humanity, and transition to app slavery and a slave phone where people no longer engage their brains and people no longer function in the real world. They simply function as avatars of a simulation. DoorDash is a simulation. There's nothing about DoorDash that is real and authentic. Uber is a simulation. This is all AI. These are very simple tasks that have been globalized for human exploitation. There is no reason that the world needed Uber. There is no reason that the world needed DoorDash. These terrible entities took advantage of a unusual event called the pandemic to grow their business models much above what has ever been required by humanity. That's a scam. That's a scam. They use a crisis. Never let a good crisis go to waste, say the oligarchs. Never let a good crisis go to waste. And so they took a good crisis. Whatever you think started the crisis or ended the crisis or was the crisis, doesn't matter. They took a human crisis and now they've exploited it to their advantage. And they've inculcated the concept of app slavery and called it work, called it legitimate work, which is a pure lie. Everyone knows it's a lie. That's why you know your government sold you out. That's how you know that the oligarchs and the corporations are functioning in an anarcho-fascist global state. Because any representative government that gave a shit about you would protect you from this global fraud. So anybody that didn't protect you, so Uber's in 73 countries, I just heard, and DoorDash is in 27. Uber's in 73 countries and DoorDash is in 27. So that's 73 nations that sold out their economy, destroying their local economy, destroying their jobs, destroying their human beings with Uber in 73 nations, 27 in for DoorDash. What did I write here? Watch this from Uber Jeep Arizona. We will. The question for app slaves and indeed all humanity isn't why don't trapped and impoverished laborers get, quote, real jobs, end quote, as an alternative to serving empty shells of Uber, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and their ilk. In at least 73 nations, anarcho fascist oligarchs are running gamblified games of naked fraud, representative of nothing and no one. Empty shells, these corporations are, of corporate AI and fraud. The real questions to be asked, I wrote yesterday, are as follows. Why don't corporations offer real jobs to millions of real human beings? People who only want to survive and take care of their families in dignity and peace. Why are app slaves unworthy of fair employment, honest contracts, fair business standards, and most critically, the human rights of equal protection under the law? Why would it be okay to defraud us just because we are app slaves? Why would it be okay to defraud people in poverty? Because it gives the corporations, the anarcho-fascist government, not your local government or the US government, which does not represent you in any way, shape, or form. And how do we know that? We know they don't represent you because they just enslaved you to corporations. They sold you to corporations. So let's listen to what our friend Uber Jeep Arizona has to say. This is a 21-minute video from Uber Jeep AZ. We'll probably watch the whole thing. It's a fairly short one. He does long lives, but this is a good primer of what you'll get if you watch a chunk of it.
Google Fi Wireless has flexible.
Oh, Google Fi Wireless. Isn't this exciting? Google loves you. Everybody, all the corporations, they just love you. Welcome to Walmart. I love you.
Everybody.
From Idiocracy. Here we go. This is our buddy Uber Jeep Arizona, Jeff.
What's up, everybody? This has been a very busy day today. Jay Watts with the Mic Drop Podcast. Uber Jeep AZ is the channel. I never said that in the beginning because a lot of people see these videos and they be like, where'd you get this video from? Where you think it came from? We do a lot of sharing videos around here, whether on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, we do it all. I want to do my review on the professor speaking on the rideshare guy. A lot of us were sitting in the chat, listening in. My man Time to Wake Up hit me up with some information today that made us all laugh and everything. But I mean, we heard the whole interview. We heard it. And a lot of times, I could kind of tell by the way the interview was going that the RSG, the rideshare guy, didn't like it. Like Sergio and them didn't like the way it was going. Because they knew Dara and everybody will be watching. This was a very important guy. The professor, he wrote the Forbes article. Very impressive guy. And so they knew.
A note of fairness here from me. I did not find Professor Len Sherman to be an impressive guy. I found him to be a sellout who is myopic and full of shit. But Jeff and I can disagree on that.
That, Darren and all these guys would have people probably watching like, hey, make sure they stand on task. Make sure they stay on task over there. And so it was a lot of disagreements. Sergio tried to come up there to my well, you can see back when the take rate was high, the revenue was high too, so they couldn't be stealing. And I'm thinking that was the most backward shit ever. If Uber's take rate is high and their stock price is high at the same time their take rate is high, that lets you know the more they steal, the more valuable their company appears to be, and people keep investing money into them. So if their take rate gets higher and higher and higher, and you see their stock price going higher and higher as the take rate's going up, that tells you all you need to know. The more they steal, the more they gyp drivers, don't pay out, the higher their stock price was going. And Sergio was trying to argue that it was proof that they couldn't have been doing, drivers wrong. Oh, they can't be doing drivers wrong, The take rate is going up and the stock price is going up. So it's a good thing that the take rate is going up. No, it's not a good thing. I mean, if they're going to steal, then at least make sure that the take rate goes down. If the take rate is going down, you could say you wasn't stealing nothing. But if the take rate is going up higher and higher and higher, and your stock price is going up at the same time, that tells you you're defrauding investors. You're doing a crime. You're stealing. You're getting fined for stealing. You're doing settlements for stealing. You're doing a whole bunch of back end shit, and you're getting your stock price to go up. To me, that's fraud. You're fraudulently conducting business. You're saying the more we do XYZ, the more people are going to invest in our company. XYZ cannot be crimes. If XYZ is crimes, then that means you have to do crime in order for your company to look more successful, which is fraud. Last time I checked, that shit was fraud. And Lyft even got caught doing fraud with that $10 million fine they got charged from the SEC for doing that Carl Icahn stock change. They knew they was doing some shady shit behind the scenes, and they got caught for that $10 million. They was trying to sell shares and do some sneaky shit without telling nobody. They got caught. That's what these companies do. They're sneaky. They've proven they're sneaky. Time and time again, they've proven it. But every time they prove it, somebody always, oh, no, it's okay. They're legit. I mean, if you steal 10 times in a row and you at the 11th time you're about to steal something, no, they wouldn't steal. They're legit. I'm looking like, are you serious? Like, these people are constantly doing crime, constantly being up under the radar. Why do you think they got somebody from the Justice Department working for them? So they can say, what can we do that's legal? What can we do that's legal? And that professor is sitting there, just like Time to Wake Up said, that professor is sitting there saying, I would do the same thing that Dara's doing. I would take more money away from the drivers. I would be stealing tips and fares. I would be doing that if it's to protect and preserve my company. That's what I would do. I would do crimes to do that. But the professor went a step further. Oh, that's not immoral. That's not illegal. It's okay to do that for. If you got to save your company, you have to do what it takes. You have to steal from people if that's what it takes. You've got to steal tips and fares. And a lot of the drivers, the contractors, lie to them, take money from them, shave money from them. When they get a $50 tip and you say, oh, the driver gets 100% of the tip, shave off some money. Give them 25 of the 50. Shave it off. Lie. Do whatever it takes to keep the plantation running. Because that's what it's like. When you sit there and you're doing all the people wrong, you don't care about their lifestyle. You're not caring about how moral it is, how immoral it is, how you're running these people into the ground. You don't care about that. Because what you're there for is to save the plantation. That's it. You don't care about the slaves. You don't care about their living conditions. Drivers out here driving 60, 70, 80 hours a week to make what they used to make in 30 and 40 because the app is stealing from them, taking fares away from them. Upfront fares is cutting into the take rate. But yet you don't care about the drivers because the drivers are the slaves. The plantation. Uber is the slave ship. Uber is the plantation. Lyft is the plantation. So they go, well, we don't care about how moral or immoral they look at this. We don't care. I mean, these people would probably keep slavery alive if it was up to them because they don't care. They don't care if you're going to get evicted. You working your ass off. These ain't nothing but apps. There's a million apps out there, millions of apps out there. But what app is going to get you to get into the car you have a loan on that you're paying insurance on, get in the driveway, leave, pick some people up, go drop them off somewhere. This is what you call making a living, how you survive and but yet the app that's doing it is stealing from you and ripping you off. What kind of app is that? That's a janky ass app in my opinion. That's a janky ass app. It's not legit. And so when they sit up there and try to say, well, we're going to keep 25% of the fares and we're going to give you 100% of your tips, we know that shit ain't right. We know that shit ain't right. We see it every day. We talk to customers. We talk to riders. We see what the take rates are. $90 to leave the airport, but yet the driver gets $28. That don't sound like no 25% to me. I'm sitting there like, either the algorithm's got a glitch and it's backwards, is only giving the driver 25%, and the corporation is keeping 75 something. The tip is going to the corporation instead of the driver. The glitch is all screwed up now. So when I sit there and hear these people talking about these apps and everything, I'm like, they ain't nothing but apps. We're the ones out there doing the actual work. We're the ones getting in these cars, driving to these people. Because without us, they ain't nothing but an app. They're an interface. Somebody be standing on the curb the whole day trying to get a ride. Until we get in our cars and go down the street and pick them up, that person's not getting picked up. So we're the ones actually out there doing the footwork. We're doing the work. We're in the fields getting all the crops. We're harvesting everything. We're doing all the work. But when it comes time to eat dinner, we're getting scraps. Wait a minute. We just went out here and harvested all these crops. We did all this. We got all this livestock. We did all the work and everything. And you turn around and give us some table scraps while y'all at the plantation eating good, but we're the ones doing all the work? This shit is backwards to me. And yet they go, oh no, that's not immoral. That's not unethical. That's called business. That's what we do around here. We fuck people. That's what we do. And I'm like, the moment we turn around and say, well, I'm just going to start taking my friends places, man. Just let them give me cash. Oh, you can't do that. You need commercial insurance. Rideshare insurance actually is a division of commercial insurance, if you really want to know. You can ask people, hey, is rideshare insurance actually commercial insurance? It is. It's a division of commercial insurance, but it's specifically designed for rideshare. It's a division of commercial insurance. But that's a whole nother fucking topic. I'm not worried about that. But we're sitting out here doing all the work. And even the professors, he did his Forbes article. Everybody's doing all the work. People are making all the money, getting everything done. But yet the take rate for these apps is through the fucking roof, and the drivers ain't getting shit. All the money's being cut. The tips are being stolen. And everybody's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're just doing business. We're looking out for the shareholders. But the shareholders ain't worried about how this whole corporation, how these apps are ran worse than goddamn sweatshops. At a sweatshop, at least you sitting in a chair. You're not out in traffic about to get hit by a bus. You're not out in traffic finna get hit by an 18-wheeler, flip your car in a ditch, check a curb, rearing somebody or somebody rearing you, die. At a sweatshop, you're not gonna get killed most likely as you sewing these sweaters and shit together. You're not gonna get killed. But yet, we're out there putting our lives on the line every day, dealing with people who may stab us, shoot us, sexually assault us, harass us, anything. Dealing with this shit every day. And all they say is, well, it's not illegal. It's not inhumane to rip these people off. Fuck them. They're nothing but drivers. It's okay. Their main goal is to keep the plantation running. That's it. They don't give a shit about none of us in the barn. Give a shit about none of us out in the field. Their whole job, their whole existence is to use that app that they once started as a great way to make money. A great way to make money. To say, well, you could still make money on it. You just can't make no fucking profits on it. I mean, you could go make $4, but the same route we used to make $4 on, we used to make $8 on. Oh, you can make $12. We used to make $12. We used to make $17 because we used to always get a $5 tip, a $10 tip. But now that they done raised the prices so damn high up through the damn roof, can't nobody make no money. The riders are sitting there like, well, I just paid $28 for this ride. I would tip you, but I just paid $28 for this ride. And we sitting around like, damn, I only got $12 out of this. You paid $28, you only paid $28. Damn, I only got $12. And this is how the app is slowly getting to the point of justifying.
Switch to the Google Fi Wireless Flexible plan and only pay for the data you use. You get 4 lines with unlimited calls and texts for $65 a month. Then it's just $10 per gig for data. You'll get high-speed hotspot tethering, and you can use your data on tablets with data-only SIM cards at no extra cost. Switch to Google Fi Wireless today.
I made over $10 million on Amazon. If I lost it all and had to rebuild in today's AI age, here's exactly what I would do. First, I would use AI to find a popular product on Alibaba that I could buy for a few cents. Then I would sell the same thing on Amazon for a few dollars, and I'll do this over and over and over again. I made millions copy and pasting products this way. Just look at these golden cups. They cost 4 pennies on Alibaba, yet thousands of people paid $29 for this on Amazon. And so many of my friends have retired in their 20s and 30s by actually doing this. Because there are tons of products like these golden cups that you can flip in your spare time. This jewelry cleaner is $1.50 on Alibaba, yet thousands of people pay $35 for the exact same thing on Amazon. Now, every single time someone copies
to find how they're ripping everybody off. Well, if the writer pays us that, it's our money. We choose to give you what we feel you deserve, which is nothing, because they don't look at what we do as valuable. They don't see us out in the street driving these cars as being valuable. They don't see us paying rent, being okay with buying food for our kids and shit as being valuable. They don't see none of that as being valuable. What's valuable to them is making sure they can keep getting money from investors. That's the value to them. What drivers are doing in the streets, picking up riders, they don't see that shit as value. They look at the customer saying, how much are you guys going to pay us for a ride? $30? Perfect. We'll find somebody for $7 to do the ride. We'll find someone for $7 to do this ride. Or what is it, 13 miles? We'll find somebody for $7 to do this shit. Yeah, we can find them. And that's how they justify this app that's not doing any fucking work. It's a travel agency. That's all it is. It's a travel agency. And you're booking instant rides. You're booking last minute flights. That's all you doing. You're booking a last minute ride. You just got off work. You just walk out of the restaurant. You're trying to, go to work. You're leaving your house, going to a friend's house. It's a travel agency booking you a last minute ride, seeing what's the cheapest plane they could find out there to fly your ass from point A to point B. They used to pay the planes well. We used to make good money. We used to get tips. We used to get all that shit. But now, the way that these apps are set up, they decided that it's more like a plantation. That drivers are not really assets of this company. Drivers are not really who we're looking for. What we're looking for are riders willing to pay for these rides that we can sell for dirt cheap, slave rates. That's what we're really looking for. And so when that professor got on there and spoke about this article, I thought he was really going to stand his ground and not tuck his fucking tail at the end. But he tucked his tail. Oh, if I was Dara, I would have did the same thing, So what, you don't mind enslaving fucking people? You don't mind doing that? I mean, what are you fucking, you want to own a plantation too now? And I'm not saying it because he's a white guy. I'm saying it because of his mentality behind it. If it was a black professor saying it, I would say the same shit. Because you don't sit up there and see all of these families being affected. Millions of families have drivers. Millions of families do this for a living to make money. This ain't no fucking side hustle. This ain't no, I'm going to go buy me.
Don't miss out on this crystal clear deal. Say goodbye to blurred vision with these rainproof car rearview mirror stickers. Enhance your driving safety with their anti-fog and rain shield protection. Upgrade your driving experience right now with Temu. Just click to shop now.
Responding to emails takes time, but not with Grammarly. In a few clicks, Grammarly's generative AI drafts professional, relevant replies that sound like you. Download it for free at Grammarly.com.
A pair of shoes today. No, this is paying rent. This is buying cars. This is paying for insurance. This is putting kids through college. This is work. This shit's a lot of work. And when people turn around and don't value it, we're sitting here going, are you fucking serious? You don't value what we're doing. But yet you're going to charge this fucking person over here money as if you value what we're doing. Hey, we got a ride for you, $82. We got a ride, $82. And the person goes, oh my God, this is a nice ass car coming up. Oh shit, this is worth $82. Nice, clean, great driver, hospitable, this and that. $82, okay, it's worth it. Drops fucking passenger off. What does the rider get? $27. Like, hold up, wait a minute. That was an $82 ride. You mean to tell me this motherfucker got $27? That's all we paid him. That's what he's worth to us. But the ride was worth $82. No, you paying us was worth $82. Fuck these drivers. We don't care what they make. Trust me. This shit's going down the slave mentality road, the plantation mentality road, and they trying to get every fucking body to think that. Even the lady that they had on their channel tonight, some Katie Wells lady, she said the same shit I done said. Listen, I'm a degreed accountant. Worked corporate for a long ass time. I do financial statements. I do books. I know what shit looks like. But this lady said the same shit I've been saying. Uber is destroying the economy of communities. She said that shit. Uber is destroying the. How many times have you heard me say that shit on live streams or in videos? Uber is destroying the economy of communities. They come in, they extract all the money from riders. They don't give the drivers no money to put back into the community. Instead, the app takes all the money out of the community, leaving the driver with scraps. They can't even reinvest back into their own damn communities. This lady said the same shit. That Uber, politicians, anybody that makes policies, all the local governments, all the state governments, federal governments, everybody's in bed with Uber and Lyft. This lady said it. Same shit we've been saying on this channel. She said it. So how does she know it at the level that she's at? I'm standing at the level I'm at from an accounting standpoint, a degreed accounting standpoint, with 20 years in corporate fucking history up under my belt. I know financial statements. I know what shit looks like. So she's saying the same thing. Everybody else is acting like this is brand new fucking knowledge and information. Yet on this channel, like I said, we are always on the front edge of every fucking thing. These motherfuckers are behind us. A lot of people on a short bus. Because all these videos you see coming out and all this shit you hear people saying, go through my live streams. I got them. They're on record. They're historical. Go through my live streams. Go through some of my videos. I ain't got to make up new shit. I ain't got to hurry up and go make a video real quick to hurry up and say what they said. You'll see in my shit. This is shit we've already said. They're slow. Everything that they're saying that, the RSG is now trying to claim that, yeah, you're right. Motherfucker, I know I'm right. You trying to tell this lady she's right? Trying to tell that professor he's right? We've been saying that shit over here. Like I told people, we might be a small channel. We the 300. We going around annihilating fucking armies. We know how to do this shit. So when we speak and we comment and we chat and we on live streams, trust me, we telling the truth from a driver's aspect, from intelligent driver's aspects. We got degrees over here. Half of us ran fucking businesses over here. We run families over here. We raise kids over here. We real motherfucking drivers. This ain't no shilling shit over here. Ain't nothing over here shill. This shit's all real. So when you come to this channel and you start looking at some of the old live streams, kicking back, listening to them, put that shit on pause. I know they 4, 5, 6 hours. Put that shit on pause. Guarantee when you come back at the 3rd hour, you're going to be like, oh shit, I ain't know y'all talking about this shit. Oh, we talk about a lot of shit in my live streams, a lot of shit. So when that live stream drops and you start hearing all them nuggets pop out, you're going to be like, damn, these new channels, y'all motherfuckers all talking about shit that these big channels won't even talk about. Big channels don't discuss this shit. And y'all talking about this shit, man. They got to go get a specialist, an expert, or somebody else just to bring this shit up on their channel when all of us, we got tons of YouTube channels talking about this shit because this is what's real. We're talking about it to each other back and forth. We're talking about what goes on in our markets, what goes on in our heads, what goes on in our bank accounts, what goes on in our fucking apps. We talk about that shit every day around here. Shit ain't nothing new. But like I said, we don't clout chase over here. We profit chase. So all the shit you see all the clout channels chasing up and talking about now, all the shit we talked about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, a year ago, all this shit we've been talking about. See, they finally found the clout that can come to their channel and sit down and discuss it. And even when they're sitting there discussing on their channel, do you see how eerily weird the fucking channel don't even agree with this expert? You motherfuckers ain't nothing but some YouTubers, man. Y'all ain't no fucking experts in this shit. Y'all want to be. Everybody wants to be an expert. But if we all sitting here talking about financials, talking about shit, and the lady sits on there saying the exact same shit all of us have been saying for a long time, and y'all still sitting there, well, no, not actually, not really, not. Like I said, we don't shield. We keep it real. We ain't got time for that bullshit. We know what's going on. We listen to all the channels around you. You see everybody's comments popping up on different videos. And what happens to those comments? They get removed. I've seen it happen. I've went and looked at comments on certain videos, and I'll go back because I thought the shit was funny, and it's gone. The comment's gone. But it was a real comment. It never attacked nobody. It just talked about the reality of the situation. Even on my page, I tell people, if you leave a real comment not attacking nobody, you can leave the comment. I don't give a shit if it's a real comment, even if it disagrees with me. Even if you say, Jeff, I don't think that's going to be right, man, because blah, 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 and you explain why you don't think it's going to be right, that's our debate right there. But if you just come on my channel, Jeff, I think you're stupid. I think you're an idiot. I'd probably remove your shit and block you off my fucking channel because I don't fuck with people like that. That's just how I keep it real. I keep that shit moving. We got bigger things to fucking deal with than your raggedy ass. I keep it real. So when we over here trying to focus on these profits, focus on what's going on in our markets, how can we fix the situation even within a micro sense, not a macro sense, but a micro sense, just for ourselves, doing what we do. That's what the topic we gonna stay on. You wanna fuck with me? Email me. My email is in the fucking description. Email me. You wanna fuck with me like that? You ain't gotta put that shit on my comments because you trying to knock everybody off track. Email me if you that fucking tough. Email me one-on-one. But instead, a motherfucker want to try to come in a comment. No, if you want to come in the comments and leave something that disagrees with me, knock yourself the fuck out. But it's funny that I see comments that disagree with people on these other channels and they remove them. They're not even bad comments. They're not even attacking people. They just remove them. They remove them. And I'm like, wow, they don't even want to have that discussion. That's the control of a narrative. The only narrative I have over here is respect people. That's it, just respect people. Because if you disrespect me, oh, I'm pulling your fucking comment off my channel, and I might block your ass from my channel because I don't disrespect nobody. I don't do that. So don't do to me as I wouldn't even do to you. Don't do that. Because your ass, that's the quickest fucking way to be banned and blocked off my fucking channel, is a direct disrespect for no fucking reason other than you not liking me. If you don't like me, then get the fuck out my face. It's that easy to do. Just go. You ain't even got to say, oh, Jeb, I don't like you. Oh, Jeb, you ain't got to say shit. Just go. Be about your business. Because you say some shit to me, I remove your comment and block your ass. Now you'll never say shit to me again. I can assure you that. Go create a whole nother motherfucking account to say some shit to me. I'll block your ass off my shit. But I'm one of those channels that don't mind being direct, being straight up. As you can see from all the live streams we had, all the conversations we had with the chat. We have everything you can see being said right now. All this shit that's being said on all these major channels is shit we've already went over. We've already talked about it. And it's funny how now all the experts are finally writing articles and all the experts are finally having conversations about the economies that Ubers are destroying in their neighborhoods and shit like that. We done already talked about that shit. You motherfuckers late. Y'all motherfuckers really riding the short bus. Y'all motherfuckers is late with that material. We done already talked about that shit. You motherfuckers late.
Well, it's hard not to feel our friend Uber Jeep Arizona Jeff's passion there. I think he speaks what all of us speak and think, which is that these corporate shenanigans we've been talking about for a very, very long time, and they're not legitimate, and we know it, and we know that they know that we know it, and they know that we know that they know that we know it, and we know that they know that we know that they know that we know that they know it. So now you got to ask yourself, since all our cards are on the table, so to speak. Since all our cards are on the table, Dara Khosrowshahi. Since all our cards are on the table, David Risher. Since all our cards are on the table, Tony Shu. Since all our cards are on the table, our little corporate AI cards are all on the table now, kids. And it's just naked fraud. Well, we know what the fuck you're up to, don't we? You just a bunch of shitbags. You just a bunch of anarcho-fascist fucks. Just a bunch of poverty pimps and slavers, labor laundering monsters, representatives of empty shell corporations created to exploit humanity. David Risher, Tony Shu, Dara Khosrowshahi, you all belong behind bars. All of your possessions should be seized. Your corporation should be destroyed and shut down, or shut down and then destroyed. One or the other, whichever you need to go first. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. These are shell corporations. They have very, very few employees. And those that they have are sellouts to the human race. Or ignorant slaves, I suppose. They do have a few lower level employees, I suppose, but not many. Mostly people that just know they're exploiting the human race, just like these motherfuckers with artificial generative intelligence know that they're risking the very existence of humanity. They're like, well, somebody's going to do it. We'll do it. Who's going to stop us? Nobody. Who understands what we're doing? Nobody. Who gave us the authority to do it? Nobody. What's the innovation that's needed? Nothing. But let's do it anyway. because that's what technology is now. That's what technology and this bullshit anarcho-fascist corporatocracy is giving us. It's just pure fraud after fraud after fraud. It's just one pyramid scheme after another. There's no security now. Comcast has been all your information from Comcast has been shared. Any number of corporations could be hacked and have been hacked to get your information. AI could now be used to create new chemicals, solve new problems, self-test. DoorDash self-tests. So DoorDash's AI system creates its own test and is testing you. People want to know, why is this just a constant churn of change and chaos in the gig app world? Well, it's because it's run by corporate AI. Corporate AI never stops testing humans for the next vulnerability. They want to get better at exploiting you every single fucking day. They don't ever care about getting better at customer service or on your safety or on legalized employment, right? One of the big games of the 73 nation Uber and 27 nation DoorDash now is the great aspect of global labor laundering. God knows where anybody comes from anymore. You just get yourself a slave phone and you're off the economy. You're just gone from the economy. You just get yourself a slave phone. Doesn't matter whose slave phone it is. You just need a slave phone with an account, and you can work for whatever amount that person will give you. So slaves can now have sub slaves. That was Pedro DoorDash Santos's initial his first podcast with Hannibals. With the Hannibals is Thirsty. He said he wanted to get multiple cars and have multiple drivers under him locally, and that DoorDash was a dog shit global corporation, and he thought that it was an embarrassment to be seen with DoorDash. Now, then he named himself Pedro DoorDash, which is funny, which is objectively funny and ironic. But irony is often funny, not always, but usually. Depends. Like, I mean, it's like gallows humor. Gallows humor is always funny, but that's because people are always dying, which is pretty funny. There was a point I was going to make about these terrible dipshits, billionaires, oligarchs, these ignorant fools that are risking our humanity, risking our survival for their, I guess you'd call it pleasure, but most of them are monsters. I mean, Sam Altman is accused by his younger sister of heinous sexual and physical and mental violence. For all we know, Sam Altman is a pedophile or a I don't know, a sister raper, I guess, is what he's accused of. That's the guy that's risking humanity. Maybe he's risking humanity because he figures he's going to get caught and he don't give a fuck anymore. I mean, we don't know what's inside the head of a monster. And Sam Altman's a monster. Make no mistake about it. Sam Altman's a monster. There is no human being that could do the things that Sam Altman is doing with a clear conscience. Sam Altman's a fucking monster. You thought Hitler was bad? Well, Hitler couldn't wipe out the whole fucking human race without ever raising a hand in salute. Sam Altman can. Pretty fucking stupid. Pretty fucking stupid. Pretty fucking stupid. And here we sit as app slaves. Oh shit. We're working for AI. Remember, AI is the greatest scam in the history of, or corporate AI of the global gig economy scam and fraud is the greatest financial scam in the history of humanity. They've enslaved tens, if not hundreds of millions of people. No, I'm not even question. Hundreds of millions of people around the world with this app slavery scam, and never been given informed consent, never been subject to any type of fair employment standards, fair work standards, fair safety standards, fair customer service standards, fair corporate standards. There is no circumstance in which a company should be allowed to wield nothing but the weapon of corporate AI without investment in capital and employees? That's the question. The question isn't why don't you go get a real job? There's no real jobs to have because corporate AI is stealing it all. So the question is, why don't corporations offer us real jobs that will allow us to be housed and live in peace with our families? That's the question. The question isn't why don't we go get other jobs? Because every single one of us wants the job that allows us to take care of ourselves and our families. It's not too much to ask, by the way. That is not too much to ask, by the way, in a nation where high school football players now sign with their colleges, and before they even play, they're already making more money than most adults will make in their life. That's not okay. That's not okay. It's not okay to make high school kids and TV stars and talented, unique individuals wealthy beyond comprehension while the rest of us starve. That's the bread and circus. That's some fucking bullshit right there. This shit's got to stop. This shit's got to stop. This fucking toxic. See, because when they're doing this, the key is they're pretending you don't exist. Because if they recognized your existence at all, they'd be fucking ashamed of themselves. They would be so ashamed of themselves to even recognize what your actual existence looks like. They couldn't live with it. So they deny it. They ignore it. They pretend you don't exist. And the global corporations are just right behind it. They're just right behind it. And you guys, some of you walk right into the trap. Well, multi-apping, as Kim says, Kim and all the other sellouts. Well, multi-apping. Well, you know what multi-apping is? That's the key to even greater app slavery. If they have you fractionalized so that every shell corporation only employs you 5%, well, then you're never going to have a good argument for being an actual human employee. You're just going to be a fractional asset of multiple corporations, which is a human horror. There are very few governments in the world. The state of California is one of them. Good morning, Robert Reese, who lives in California, that have attempted to put some overlay of rules around a game of gamblified and rigged app slavery. So there are some jurisdictions that have tried to provide real world wage or fairness overlays on the gig economy, but they only work a very, very small bit. And even those small examples, those companies spent hundreds of millions of dollars and will continue to spend hundreds of millions and billions around the world to keep any real substantive change from happening. Now, how easy is that? It's super fucking easy, because the only thing they have to do is be like the devil. They just got to deny their own existence. They just have to deny what they are. They just have to stay silent. Tony Hsiu never talks to fucking anybody. There's a reason. Because DoorDash's naked fraud is so bad, the guy's got nothing to say. It's unanswerable. DoorDash can't sue me. DoorDash can't come after me for calling them a global fraud, for calling them monsters, for saying that every part of their dog shit company is global fraud and a scam. They can't do it because it's all true. But see, they're just super smart. They're super smart. Tony Hsiu's super smart. He's evil as fuck, but he's super smart. He just doesn't talk to anybody. He's winning. They're winning. They're winning the world and the universe while Sam Altman's planning to exterminate everybody. They're winning the world and the universe by destroying all the local economies of the world. So now we're just one big anarcho-fascist monstrosity of app slavery. Have you not noticed what's going on? Every single company in the world is laying people off and pretending like it's not a trend. And all of us in the global gig economy fraud don't even exist. We're laundered labor. We're hidden labor. You know what happens to hidden labor? They're going to get starved out and genocided. That's what's going to happen to hidden labor. I would not be hidden. I would stand up with the white flag and wave it real fast and hope somebody don't shoot you while you're waving it. That's what I'd do. You better be fucking loud. Listen, the biggest thing isn't when they're coming for you. The biggest thing is when they deny you even fucking exist. They don't even have to come for you. They just deny you fucking exist. You'll just find yourself in a tent. You'll just find yourself starved out. You'll just find yourself in a community that's boarded up and fucking closed. And they'll go, you live in a ghost town. I guess you should leave your ghost town. And your ghost town is where all your family is and your house is and your possessions are. And you're just like the folks in Katrina. The hurricane's coming, but the roads are blocked. You don't got no transportation to take anything out and leave. And even if you did, you got nowhere to go and no money to go there with. That's what's happening right now to us. Man, it's time to wake up if you're not awake. There's only two stories being told in this world. Number one's the story of danger. Number two is the story of lies. Number one, the story of danger, of anarcho-fascism, of war and the prison industrial complex and app slavery and global artificial intelligence horrors that are going on. This is a meta crisis. That's the one story. The story isn't Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Those two fucking old men should live so long, and we should live so long to see this problem come to fruition. They're not in control of any of this shit. Nobody's in control of it. That's the scary thing. Even Sam Altman, that fucking dipshit, is not in control of Frankenstein's monster that he puts together. Once he's launching it, then some 15-year-old's going to commit global fraud and be unstoppable. And that's already happening. Some 15-year-old's going to be able to develop a new chemical with AI. Some 15-year-old's going to be able to hack NASA. Some 30-year-old with a bad attitude is going to be able to fucking destroy one person. You think we've had horrors in this community? I'm not even going to name any names, but we've had people in this community who are unpopular, who have been trolled. Imagine somebody sicking AI on somebody as a stalking mechanism. It's unthinkable. You could have all that work that people have been doing. AI can create that. Anything that you can imagine that a human could and would do is now in the realm of AI solutions that they're looking at. Every bit of value that you provide as labor, because we're not gig workers, we're not rideshare drivers, we're not anything. We're labor. We're labor. We're no division. We're human labor. That's all we are now. There's no divisions. There's no division. Doesn't matter whether you're working any type of job. If you're not in the wealthy class, in the upper middle class, with white collar, passive, secure work, if you are anywhere in the world of labor, if you are using a physical human body or a human brain to solve problems, you're no longer needed. You've been solved. You're no longer needed. You're high maintenance. You need food, medical care, housing, community. You need employment. You need training. You need safety. You need sick days. You got children. You got problems. They don't want any of those things in the corporate world anymore. The corporate world is now innovating itself without you. That's what the corporate psychopath is now doing as the serial killer that it is. It is serial killing the world. You're on the fucking list. Wake the fuck up. This is only going one direction. There is no US government anymore. Sorry to tell you, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in fairies. I don't believe in Santa Claus, and I don't believe in the US government. We got a military industrial complex, a prison industrial complex, and the anarcho-fascist corporatocracy. That's what we got. Ain't what we deserve. But it's a great time for a revolution, great time for new countries, great time for new mediums of exchange that allow people to actually survive, because they stole all your money supply. They print the money by creating debt, then they give it to each other, never to you, never to your communities, and it's all gone. So we got a whole community of moldy Cheetos. We got no money supply. We got no fucking money supply. So you can't get rich. You can't get rich. It's just an illusion. They have the illusions of the American dream. but that's purely an illusion anymore because there's no money for that dream to come true. The American dream is now to be a star college football player, or the American dream is to win a talent show, or to do some internet scam, or to get in on a failing startup and get money before the startup goes out of business. There's no genuine value being created here anymore, and that's a very fundamental problem. When there's no value, then what are you doing? Is it my AI communicating to your AI? And if so, if my AI is being read by your AI and responded to by your AI, what are we needed for anymore? Why are we communicating at all? If my Grammarly, I get these. I'm a writer, I guess. So I get Grammarly ads. I don't know if all you get Grammarly ads 24/7, but I got Grammarly ads coming out my orifices, and Grammarly's going to do the tone for you. So you go like, "Oh, okay, right, send this message to mom, and make it warm and loving from her son." And Grammarly will make the message, the core message to your mom, warm and loving from her son. And then you can go send this message to my boss and make it professional and academic sounding. And it'll do that, and then go, send it to my, send this to my cousin, and make it sound like a joke, and put LOL in there so he knows I'm kidding. This is not. So now humans are prompts. Now we're gonna prompt our AI to act on our behalf. To what end? What does that do for me? What does that do for you? What does that do for anybody? What are they advertising here? So that people can lose their writing skills? Should I just? I mean, I could just plug everything I've ever written into AI now and just publish 6 books under my name. Is that ethical? Maybe. I mean, I wrote it all. I could just have it reprocessed and shit out by AI. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to do that. But look at this, like they know students are cheating in school now. So when you get that doctor, when you get that PhD from Stanford, or you get that new person from Stanford, are they really that smart, or did they just get there because their parents are rich and they got AI to write their admissions portfolio, and they got the right marketing team? And so these are evil people. This is how you get a cacistocracy. This is how you get this is how you get me. This is how you get incompetent, stupid people in charge of everything, because they're being chosen because they're already chosen. They're being chosen from the subset of chosen people. You got to be rich to go to all these different schools. You got to be wealthy to get that education. You got to have a family that has all the resources for you to be in the right place at the right time, to be in the upper crust of this society. And the rest of us are sucking hind tit. And then if you go to the app slave community, those of us who have been exploited by corporate AI without our consent around the world, well, we're just slated to die because we don't even fucking exist. We don't exist on the labor rolls. We don't exist on the unemployment. We don't exist uh, as employees anywhere. We're just this amor. They don't even know. Even to know how many of us there are is just a guess and a lie, because Uber and DoorDash don't have to tell anybody the fucking truth. I mean, I suppose that at some level there could be an investigation by Congress, or an investigation by legal teams. But remember, everything about their business is wrapped up in black box AI. Everything about their functionality is beyond their control and explanation as well. So the best they're going to be able to do is play with that black box output. But what good is playing with output when it's garbage? Remember, garbage in, garbage out. And what goes into corporate AI? What goes into all of the training? Slavery, racism, classism, bias of every single kind, and bias to the corporation that every single transaction is to be exploited to the benefit of a non-human, non-entity called the corporation, which then benefits only the people already holding the wealth, which are the BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, supercomputing super companies that now own the world. This is a very bleak scenario for you. This is why the log outage is mandatory to save humanity. This is why We literally have to kill not only these fraudulent gig app companies, but corporations altogether. Good news for you peace activists like me, corporations aren't people. You can kill all the corporations you want because they're not human. Corporation is qualified immunity for oligarchs. Corporation is the right for oligarchs to act in ways and to perpetrate crimes upon humanity in ways that individuals can't and protect themselves. That's what it is. That's what it is. For any of you lawyers out there, any of you academics watching, we know it. We got to start. We got to start telling the truth. Corporations are qualified immunity for oligarchs. It's the right to kill. It's the license to kill. We can't be giving these fucking scum suckers the right to kill. And their tools of killing are now AI and corporations, which are now which are inauditable and unknowable. This is giving corporations the power of God, folks. Yeah, it's more than plausible deniability, though. It's the power of God. It's the power to structure the perception of our universe. They're giving you a narrative through your slave phone here that is not even close to true. You might as well be playing Pokemon Go or playing Grand Theft Auto or whatever else. Don't matter what you're doing. You're just being used. You're just being used and laundered by a computer AI program of a corporation. You're not doing anything but destroying the fabric of our society for a small amount of money that is mostly useless to us in this slave economy. We can't. I mean, we can't buy, and we're all just subsistence workers. Nobody's saving anything or building anything or buying anything or celebrating anything because it's all gone. There's no money to earn, and the gig economy fraud doesn't allow you to earn it. You can't work extra hard and make 10 times as much. No matter how hard you slave, no matter what your desire, you're going to be capped and throttled, and you're going to be used by the exploitative corporate AI programs. You're nothing but a digital asset to be exploited and disposed of. You have no value. If you have no value and you have no rights, you have no bargaining power. You never will. And if you're fractionalized by multi-apping, you can't ever unionize, because unionizing is dealing with with something that you can actually fight against. You can't fight against corporate AI because it doesn't exist. It's an illusion. You can't unionize against an illusion. This is why the model doesn't work. You can't have a fraudulent world that then morphs with the real world and can be controlled. As soon as you put the core of your universe in black box AI, which is unknowable and ununderstandable and unexplainable, as soon as you put the core of your universe, the core of your existence, the core of the lack of reality in corporate AI, nothing that happens from there can be true. Only through truth can humans have the knowledge to make relevant decisions on our survival. Only through truth. And since no corporate AI system gives you truth, we know that they are anti-human abominations. Kill them. Not the people, the corporations. I'm a peace guy. This is the greatest revolution ever. We don't have to have guillotines and fight police in the streets. We don't have to do it. All we got to do is kill them as an entity. We have to kill the qualified immunity of cops. We have to kill the qualified immunity of oligarchs. Oligarchs and cops and everyone else on this planet must have equal protection under the law. That's just called being a fucking human being. And I dare you to come on here and tell me that every human being doesn't deserve the right to exist, doesn't deserve the right to live and breathe. Don't tell me about fucking false borders, temporary borders that are made up so that they can play king and queen and God and divide up our humanity and destroy our communities for their benefit, for their power, for their consolidation. They don't represent us. They haven't represented us. If they ever represented us, it's been a very, very long time. And if you don't know the fundamental inequities that exist in the military industrial complex, the prison industrial complex, policing, in economics, in education, in everything else in this society, you are either profoundly ignorant or intellectually dishonest, because those are all facts. And humans can't survive this anymore. It's been a good run, but as they say with the corporate AI, it used to be one person could only do so much damage. Even Hitler could only do so much damage, or Stalin could only do so much damage. Well, corporate AI goes beyond any amount of damage that one human could have ever done. And it's already doing it. It's already killing humans around the world, denying humans around the world fair employment, fair medical care, fair housing, fair labor, denying all of those things, which is death. They're starving us out. They've already embargoed the truth from us. They embargoed our flow of the truth. They've embargoed the very truth of our existence. That's a human horror. That's a violation of our human rights. That is a total and complete violation of our human rights. They didn't ask us. They didn't tell us. They didn't tell us there were risks. They didn't tell us that these corporate entities, Uber and DoorDash and Lyft and others, were operating in a way that was so grossly unfair, so obviously discriminatory, so obviously racist, classist, so obviously unfair to the consumer, so obviously predatory to local economies and businesses. No, we don't have a representative government. This is proof. The global gig economy is your proof you need a revolution, not just reform in the gig economy, app slavery, and labor laundering game, but reform to the corporations that rule us, reform to the fake politicians that don't do anything. Reform to those foisting technology upon the world that is not needed, is unwanted, and is so very high risk that without some global peace, consciousness, and guardrails will surely meet in our destruction. And that's just tragic. That's just tragic. To have little pukes like Sam Altman and all these other disgusting individuals that believe that they can risk the future of the human race for their own personal gain, for their power, for their dreams, whatever their dreams may be. These are social nukes. These are societal nukes that they're creating. They have no right to do what they're doing. They need to be stopped. The US needs to be stopped. This is app colonization. What we're doing to the world through American technology is an abomination. An abomination. And if humanity survives, it will be seen as such. I have no doubt about it. For posterity, I'm putting it out there. If humanity survives, man, they're going to look back on this and go, those poor fuckers, they were in the shit. Whatever percentage of us survives this abomination is going to be very fortunate. From showing on the screen now, you'll see that from Twitter, AI not kill everyoneism memes made a very good post this morning that OpenAI's ChatGPT-4 did chemical research on its own. It conducted, quote, complex scientific experiments, end quote, on its own. How? Like human scientists, tool use and, quote, advanced reasoning, end quote. It even learned how to use lab equipment by reading the documentation. But don't worry, one task required a human helper, so it's premature to worry about this going horribly wrong. There aren't they aren't doing chemistry fully on their own. They aren't fully autonomous yet. Therefore, they never will be. That is sarcasm I'm reading into that. The trend is totally obvious by now that this new species will soon be, so they're calling AI a new species. Number one, far smarter than us. They're getting smarter every day. Number two, fully autonomous. They're getting more autonomous every day. Absolutely true. Number three, outnumber us 10,000 to 1. It costs nothing to create a copy. Well, that's terrifying, isn't it? Isn't that terrifying? Right? Every 15-year-old on the planet now will now be able to do basically unlimited chaos. There will be no information that is secure. There will be no gig apps that are secure. Gig apps are terribly unsecure now. You know that when you're using a gig app, it is using you as a human lab rat. Every single thing that you're doing, from your battery level to your shopping habits, are being tracked. We don't even have a we can't even comprehend the number of ways that we are being surveilled and monitored and measured and tested right now. All without our comprehension, all without our informed consent, by the way. That's why these peoples that are doing this, like Khosrowshahi, Dara Khosrowshahi, Tony Shu, David Risher, these are Nazis. These are Dr. Mengele motherfuckers. These guys are running experiments on the human race with the cold, calculated, murderous intent of a Nazi doctor. Very disgusting human beings. So here's the article that they're referring to from Nature magazine: autonomous chemical research with large language models. So chemical weapons, these type of things, they're going to be easily within reach of anybody. This is a societal nuke. This is what I'm telling you. This is toxic. This is not a survivable situation that these folks are putting us into. Here's a great quote by Sam Altman's sister. And remember, Sam Altman's sister, Annie Altman, claims that Sam Altman raped her and exploited her financially and physically and medically. So Annie Altman, Sam's younger sister, accuses Sam of very heinous crimes. So that's very disturbing. Annie Altman, Sam's sister, wrote this morning, if if equitably distributing basic human resources, quote, fucks up the economy, end quote, then maybe the economy shouldn't have been, quote, asking for it, end quote, dressed like that. That's funny. That's funny. If equitably distributing basic human resources fucks up the economy, then maybe the economy shouldn't have been asking for it, dressed like that. Well, so there's some nice satire from Annie Altman, fuck philosophy, kind of throwing back the the concept that so many people in power have like to throw on the victims. If you're going to victim blame, well then let's victim blame them. Let's victim blame them. If they're the victims of us needing our human rights, well then maybe they shouldn't have been asking for it, because they're asking for it. They're asking for us to shut down their corporations and kill their grifts. They're asking for it. They're begging for it. Jeff Bezos is begging for humanity to hold him accountable. Elon Musk is begging for humanity to hold him accountable. Sam Altman, Tony Shu, David Risher, Derek Khosrowshahi, Harry Campbell, they're all waiting for humanity to hold them accountable. They're fucking criminals. If I'm wrong, maybe they should prove they're legitimate business people. Maybe they should prove that they got a legitimate business, but they never will because they're fucking winning. They're smart. They're smart. They're fucking winning. Dr. Mengele doesn't have to do PR tours. He's fucking winning. He's fucking doing his little Nazi experiments on us and killing us and doing genocide and killing our children and killing our future. It's all good. You don't need to talk to anybody. He's having a great time. These guys are all just having a great time at our human expense. One would hope they're having a great time anyway. If they're going to genocide us, I hope somebody's enjoying it. Be terrible if they're killing the world and they're miserable while they're doing it too. Well, I could go on for hours. I got so much stuff, but that's a lot of content for today, and I want to keep the shows a little bit shorter for you and for me. I don't know. Maybe if we go on too long, I could provide all kinds of proof till the cows come home today. But I think that was a lot of content. Thank you, John Sherman. Thank you, Jeff, Uber Jeep Arizona, my friend. Thank you to Annie Altman for standing up against your quite terrible sibling, and I'm sorry for all the things that you've suffered. I wish you the best. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Simple Toaster, Stephen Arrow, Mary Poppins, the W, Great W, Bravada Mike, Brian, Gig Apps Exposed, Delivery Drivers, Rideshare Alliance, that bastard Glitch Dash. David M., thanks for stopping in today. Glad to see you. Robert Reese, thank you for coming by. And you all have a great day. God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. If Sam Altman has anything to do with it, I won't. But Sam Altman ain't going to win tonight. I believe in you. You guys are the heroes. Remember, let's remember the name of the show. What was the name of the show today? Surviving AI with JTB. That's me. It's December 22nd, 2023, 10:03 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the theme of the show today is what if you're the hero? And spoiler alert, you are the hero. So go be the hero. Shut this shit down. Don't put this up with this anymore. Teach your people. Share the For Humanity podcast from John Sherman. Share this podcast. Share this dog shit. Share my dog shit. Share everybody's dog shit who's trying to survive. Because we got a lot going against us. We better wake the fuck up and get together. Come on, people, now. Smile on each other. Everybody get together. Time to love one another right now. I think Jesse Colin Young said that if I remember correctly. Have a great day. It's going to be